a motel to see Karen. They just got in another fight. You know, they probably farther apart than before.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. We gotta do something, you know, to have them work it out. I ain't been living long enough together, you know, to have that kind of trouble.
Well, you're only married a little while, but you don't really get to know a person until you live with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they ain't living together, so how can they ever get back together again? We gotta do something to get Karen back in that house.
We do? We do?
Yeah. I got it. You should talk to Karen.
Me?
Yeah. You know, maybe have to pull a miracle out of your purse or something like that. But you gotta get Karen back home. You told Tony he could pick Brian up?
Yes.
Pat, the sight of Tony gives Brian a migraine. Is that what you're after?
Well, maybe Brian won't get a headache this time. Maybe Tony will get through to him. We gotta give him a chance.
Yeah. A chance to take my son away from me.
Who else is here?
No one. It's just you and me, Brian. So anything and everything you want to tell me, no one else is going to hear.
I don't want to tell you anything.
Yes, you do. You've got a lot to explain to me, Brian. Especially why you're so hostile toward your mother and me. You might as well talk, Brian, because you're not going to leave here until you do.
Maybe I don't have any miracles in my pocketbook. I don't have them up my sleeve. I am not in the miracle business.
Yeah, but you can certainly try. Look, would you just go talk to Karen?
Vinny, has it ever occurred to you, ever, that maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't get back together again?
What are you talking about? Of course they should.
Well, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. They're too different. I mean, maybe getting them back together might just be postponing what's inevitable.
You're talking nonsense, Wanda. You know, I'm surprised at you, really. Look, Karen loves Larry, and Larry loves Karen. And they should be together, and that's that.
That's simple. 1, 2, 3, right?
Right. And if no one else is going to do something about it, then I got to do something.
Oh, no, listen, you promised your brother you would not interfere.
That was before I realized that we got a real crisis going here. And in a crisis, anything's fair.
Not your crisis.
Look, it's my brothers and my cousins. Therefore, it is a family crisis.
Who are you calling? Who?
Karen. She doesn't know it, but she's coming here to dinner tonight. Look, how about multiple choices? You know, when I was a kid, I never did like those tests in school that you had to fill in the blanks. And maybe you're the same way. So, if you don't want to fill in the blanks, how about if I give you the choices?
Are you trying to be funny or something?
No, I am not trying to be funny. I am serious, Brian. And the first question I want to ask is why you hate me so much. Is it A, because you don't trust me? B, because I've hurt you in some way? C, because I love your mother? How about D, none of the above? Or E, all of the above?
You go home now.
You can't go anywhere until you talk to me.
This is not fair. And when my father finds out I'm here, he's going to be darn mad.
Brian, as much as it bothers me that you hate me, what really upsets me is what your mother has to go through. Now, you know that she has made you the center of her life from the minute you were born, and that she doesn't do a thing without considering you first. Now, how can you know that and still put her through all that pain?
Just leave us alone, everything.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said if you just leave us alone, everything will be all right.
You mean like it was before with you and your mother and Kendall?
Yes, that's right.
But that is impossible, Brian. Don't you realize that? That's what you're fighting against. It's a losing battle. Things can't be like that anymore. Years have gone by. Your mother has changed. Now, you don't expect her to go back to where she was before?
The only reason she changed is because of you. No matter what, she still loves my dad, and she's going to keep on going loving him. So why don't you just leave her alone and stop making her do things she doesn't want to do?
What things do I make her do, Brian? Brian, I said, what things do I make her do? Now answer me. What things do I make her do?
Let me go.
have dinner with us. All right, look. Take care of yourself, huh? Bye.
So?
She said she wanted to be alone. Think.
Well, I can understand that, Billy.
Yeah, but she didn't say to think about getting back together again with Larry. And she made it sound like it was all over and that she just had to figure out what she's going to do.
Like I said before, honey, it is possible that they really don't belong together. Now listen to me. Now, Larry has always said that she felt restless and that his work made it so that he didn't spend much time with her. Restless.
What are you talking about? She's got that big house. She's got her own car. She's got a kid to take after, you know? And she's got Larry. Look, you name me one finer man in this world better than Larry, huh? You. No, I don't hold a candle to him.
You certainly do.
Restless. She's got some nerve. Hey.
What?
Do you think that maybe she's mixed up with them women liberals or something?
What?
You know, telling her that she shouldn't stay home, that she should have a life of her own or something?
Oh, no. I don't think that has anything to do with her either. No.
Oh, yeah?
Come over here, honey. Hold this together.
I'm not so sure. You know, because every time I turn around, you know, there's some other woman decides that she's the boss and not her husband. You know? And she thinks that all she has to do is do whatever she wants, and she's liberated. Who knows where that could all end? Brian, I am not going to let you go until you answer me. And if I have to shake it out of you, you better believe that I'm going to. Now, you just stop that crying, because it's not going to work on me. Now, you tell me what you think that I did to your mother.
Make her come here, and then you take her upstairs. And then you kiss her. And I saw you through the window. Followed her here one night.
Brian, your mother does those things because she loves me, and I love her. We love each other.
And Dad doesn't know. He ever found out he'd leave Landview. So why don't you just leave her alone? Because I don't want to lose my father again.
Brian, you're not going to lose him. He loves you. I love you. We all love you. It's just that sometimes... Now, just take it easy, all right? You're not going to lose Paul. All right, I'm coming. What is it? Because... Brian, you all right? What the hell's been going on here? You've been talking. Yeah. And I'll bet that was some talk, too. Yes, it was. Look, you're gonna be okay, all right? I'm here now.
He forced me to come. I didn't want to, but he made me.
I know, son. That's all right. That's why I came. Is your head hurt?
A little bit.
But you're gonna be okay, all right? Now just try to relax. And take some deep breaths, okay? Come on, try it. I hope you're satisfied, Lord. Getting the boy hysterical? Giving him another headache? You know, if this is any kind of example of the kind of father you'd be, then I really hope that you never have any children. Kendall, why don't you take the boy home now? Exactly what I intend to do. Come on, Brian. Let's go.
What is it?
A cassette recorder. And it's got a cassette in it.
Yeah, I know what it is. I mean, what am I supposed to do with it?
Give it to Becky and make sure she plays it. You see, I wanted to get her something that would tell her that I still care for her.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd bring some flowers or candy or a mink coat or something.
I've got more imagination than that, Mrs. Hopkins. Hey, maybe you should take this and put it in her bedroom, huh? And then when she sees it, she'll be curious and turn it on and play it.
Well, I'm not sure that'll work. She's scared easily, you know. I mean, she might see it, but be too afraid to play it.
Maybe you're right. I don't understand her sometimes. She's so full of contradictions. I mean, one minute she tells me that she's willing to move in with me, and the next minute she never wants to see me again.
Sure. It occurs to me that had a very mixed-up life before she even got to Landview.
And she told you about her background? Because every time I mention it, she clams up.
No. All I know about Miss Rebecca Lee Hunt is that she suddenly walked into my life and I grew to love her. I know she exists. That I'm sure of. But as far as who she is...
Well, at least she'll let you love her. I can't get that close anymore, Mrs. Hawkins. Well...
Hi, Miss... Oh.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, honey. Did you have a good day? Same. What are you doing here, Richard?
I was just talking to Mrs. Hawkins.
Well, don't let me disturb nothing. All right, Richard. I promise you. That girl will listen to that tape if I have to handcuff her to make her do it.
Oh, that's great, Miss Hawkins. Look, if you have to get in touch with me tonight, I'll be at Edwina at the Winter Lewis's.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, that one doesn't let any grass grow under her feet, does she?
Oh, come on, Mrs. Hawkins. I'm just doing her a favor. She's moving into a new apartment. I'm going to help her move the furniture.
Oh, yeah. Move the furniture.
Yeah, and I'll be home early. Thanks a lot.
Goodbye, Richard. I wouldn't bet on Edwina letting you go home early, Richard.
We're not open yet, lady.
Good. Because then I wouldn't be able to talk to you. I want to know what happened here today.
I tied Brian to a bar stool and beat him with a mop.
Oh, what are you trying to be funny now?
What are you trying to be? I mean, do you think I'd actually do something like that?
All I know is Paul called me furious because by the time he got Brian home, he had a full-scale migraine headache, and he is in terrible pain now. I want to know what happened.
Brian had a headache because he finally had to tell the truth. And how he got it is unimportant.
I want to know how you did it.
I got good and angry with him. And I took him by the shoulders and I shook him, which is something you should have done a long, long time ago. And yeah, he got upset. He got practically hysterical. But I was calming him. And I was seeing that I was actually getting through to him. And then Kendall burst in here like the U.S. Cavalry, and that's it. Because Daddy's here to rescue him. And Brian doesn't have to face the truth again. And Daddy proceeded to tell me that if that's the way that I treat children, it's a good thing I don't have any of my own. Oh, yes, I almost killed him. And if Brian hadn't been here, I'm sure I would have tried. So the next time you see Kendall, you tell him that he owes his life to my son. Now, what I want to know from you, Pat, is why you told Kendall that Brian was here with me.
I don't know.
Really? Or is it that maybe you thought that he needed rescuing from me, too?
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I don't know which side you're standing.
Tony, I love you. I love Brian. Obviously, I'm standing on the side for us to be together and be happy.
Then you shouldn't have told him that Brian was here with me. And just a couple of more minutes and I could...
Please, let's just drop all of this for now, okay? Can you tell me what you found out from Brian?
Well, apparently he followed you here one night and he was looking through the window and he saw us kissing.
It had to have been the night of Paul's birthday. Of course it was. But Brian knew that I was going out, only I didn't tell him where I was going. But the next morning was when all of the hostility started. I knew I shouldn't have come over here.
That is not the point. The fact of the matter is Brian is afraid that Kendall is going to leave him again. Except that he doesn't see it that way. He thinks that the reason that you and Kendall aren't together is because of me. That I force you to come here. That I force you to be in love with me. You see, I'm a handy villain. And it's my fault. All you have to do is get rid of me, and then presto, you get another house full of love again.
His basic fears is Paul disappearing again.
You've got it.
What are we going to do about it?
Not we. You. simplest way to run our lives, Pat. And we who are fortunate want to thank you. Hi, Tony. Hi, Mrs. Kinney.
Why does he want me to listen to the tape? What's on it? Not the slightest idea. If the boy has any sense, it's full of a lot of sweet nothings and a little cooing. Richard don't coo, Richard talks. There's nothing he's got to say that I want to hear. You just take this and you give it back to him when he comes over to visit. What are you so afraid of, Becky? If Richard really doesn't mean a thing to you anymore, then there isn't a reason why you can't at least listen to it. All right, I'll listen to his dumb tape. Good. And I will discreetly retire to the kitchen, in case it is those sweet nothings of a personal nature.
Hi, Becky. It's me, Richard. Hey, now get that look off your face. I'm not here to talk about my broken heart or how much I miss you or anything like that.
Well, that's good, because it won't do you no good.
I know it wouldn't do any good. Well, due to the fact you have arbitrarily cut off the speech lessons because you arbitrarily cut me off, I decided to continue them in this manner. Okay, now you might be sitting there saying to yourself, when is it Richard have to just leave me alone?
Yeah.
But the way you say it, why doesn't Richard have to just leave me alone? However, a proper English-speaking woman would say, why doesn't Richard Abbott just leave me alone? However, I don't want to sound like that. The way I want you to sound is like this. I don't want Richard Abbott to leave me alone. No, no. Now repeat after me, Becky. I don't want Richard Abbott to leave me alone. Just like you probably just said. I ain't gonna say that. But what you should have said is, I am not going to say that. Because there's no such word as ain't. And there's no such word as gonna. Okay. Now for another example. You might say to yourself, oh, hey, Richard Abbott. But the way that should be said is, I don't hate Richard Abbott. As a matter of fact, I adore Richard Abbott. And I know Richard Abbott adores me, and for some reason, which Richard Abbott doesn't know, I have sent him away. Now you're probably saying, that darn fool sent himself over here in a tank. Even if I tell him to leave me alone, he just ain't gonna do it.
Oh, Richard, what am I going to do with you?
Look, Edwina, you don't have to cook dinner for me.
Oh, it's the least I can do to thank you for your help. When I get my new stove, we're going to have lots of dinners at my house. Oh, well, there's one thing I have that you don't, though. Heat.
Where, is it chilly in here?
Quite.
Well, I like it cool, but I'll turn up the thermostat.
Oh, no, why don't you just hold me? That way we can conserve energy.
I didn't know you were so ecologically minded, Edwina.
Oh, I'm sorry to have put you to so much trouble. No, it really is great trouble. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Hello, Peter. This is Dorian. Actually, I'm not fine at all. That's the reason I'm calling. I had a terrible experience with my assistant sanitarian this morning, and I just desperately need to talk to someone about it. So I was hoping that you could meet me at Tony's place and... Oh, well, could you get someone who could cover for you? You mean there's no one who could replace you? I know that it's your duty. Fine, then. Why don't we talk about it some other time, then? Goodbye, Peter. mean like Larry? No. Larry and I are still separated. I was just getting a little crazy in that hotel room, so I thought I'd get crazy here at the bar.
Yourself?
Karen, why don't you come and join me? Oh, love to. Oh. Well, how are we talking? You wouldn't believe it. That Richard's crazy. Crazy about you, we all know that. But what did he say? Well, he was getting me thinking like it. But he was funny. They were funny. And then he was talking all about us, how I don't really hate him and stuff. And after a while, I got laughing. Oh, well, Richard's always been able to make you laugh, Becky. And you haven't been doing very much of that since you sent him away. As a matter of fact, you haven't been too plucky at all. I know. But I like Richard. You know that. Well, it's a little hard to tell these days. You know, I do. I think he's funny. He's real nice. And, stuff like this, I never know what he's going to do next. Oh, that ain't no word. That is no word. I never know what he's going to do next. And that just makes it more interesting, doesn't it? Yeah. Most men, I could figure him out in 2 seconds. Not Richard. Listen, if you like him all that much, why don't you see him anymore? I just can't. Oh, I see. Oh, of course I see. Obviously, you don't find him too attractive. Are you kidding, Miss Hopkins? That curly hair and them blue eyes. Why, Richard Abbott is the most attractive man I've ever met. And he's the most interesting, and he's the most educated, and he's... I know what you're going to say, so just don't even bother. You know, of course, that tonight he's over at Wiener. At Wiener? Well, she sure don't waste time, does she? I didn't care about it. Becky, in fact, he said that he was going to go home early. Who cares? Why are you telling me that stuff? Because it's such a shame that he's staying at Wiener when you were the one he really wants to be with. Okay. Now I'm going to get my coat. And now I'm putting on my coat because I'm going over and visit my cousin. I'll be back about 10 o'clock. Oh, Becky, you have a marvelous time here all by yourself. Just sitting here alone, nobody else. Solo Mento. What are you doing?
Turning it over.
I didn't want it to end.
Well, you know what they say about all good things, isn't it?
This brandy is wonderful.
Thank you.
So is the music.
Thank you.
It really is still very chilly in here.
Well, hey, you have heat in your apartment. Why don't I take you back there?
Well, I'd rather be cold than have to smell all that wet paint.
Hey, we didn't get any furniture moved in your place?
We can do it tomorrow.
I don't have any time tomorrow.
What of the next day?
Oh, I don't know, Edwina. I thought you were in a hurry to get moved into your new place.
I'm never in a hurry about that sort of thing.
Yeah, well. Hey, it's late.
It's 10. It's only after 9.
But I have to get up early in the morning.
No, you don't. I checked your calendar, the office, before we left. You don't have anything until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Gee, you don't miss a trick.
I try not to.
Yeah, well. Hey, how about a game of Monopoly?
I don't feel like using my brain.
Okay, then we'll watch some television.
Richard, I don't feel like using my eyes either. Why don't we just sit down and relax a little and let ourselves go? Well, maybe with more therapy, she'll change her mind, Dorian.
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I think it was all that therapy that caused this in the first place. I really would like some companionship, and I was just so sure that my sister would be the one to give it to me.
That's too bad. I know what you mean about loneliness. Since Larry and I separated, I've been pretty lonely myself.
Karen, what on earth happened between the two of you? I mean, don't you love him anymore? Or was it because you testified for Marco? What is it?
It's a lot of things. Part of it was because I didn't tell him that I came here that night and talked to Marco. But I still love him. And I think that maybe he still loves me.
And why aren't the two of you together trying to work it out?
Because neither one of us knows if we can or if we want to. I mean, Dorian, there are a lot of people who can be wonderful lovers, but they just can't live together.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
You see, Larry and I are very different. Larry loves to work, and I love to have fun. So Larry goes out and works, and I stay at home, not having very much fun.
But he certainly has a lot of high ideals and that self-righteous attitude. Seriously, I think he should have been born years ago as a Puritan because he would have fit right in.
Yes, I think you're right. I just don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Karen, I've got it. I've got it. It's perfect.
What?
You're going to come home with me at Lanfair. I'm going to take you home with me tonight.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. But are you sure you want me around?
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, you can even work for me because I really could use a part-time secretary. I think you'd be perfect. Oh, Karen, I think we could be very good company for each other. And besides, if I have to go to that big old house one more time alone, I think they'll have to ship me off to the sanitarium.
Well, then it's a deal. I'd love to live with you.
Can't say it's not warm enough in here now, can you?
No, I can't. But it's not as warm as it could be.
Yeah, Rita, I
Richard,
think...
don't start in about my going back to my place. Just answer me one question.
Yeah, what?
Doesn't this couch open up